Hello and welcome to Biz Buzz with Bruno. I'm your host, Michael Bruno. As always, we're presented by madstheater.com. And today we're here to talk about all things bloody and gory in the fabulous new rock musical, not new, but new to Madison maybe, Lizzie. And I'm here with the two wonderful, wonderful guests and the studio audience today, which I'm very thrilled about. So please welcome Nicole Rigi. Right? Got it right? Yay. Right. And Tess Lenzen, who is portraying the lovely and talented and kind of gruesome Lizzie in Lizzie, the musical. Welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having us.
So let's start off with Tess. So tell for their folks at home, maybe you're familiar with your body of work, which is wonderful, about who you are and how you came to be at this point with Lizzie.
Yeah, I have done theater since I can remember. Last time I was in the Drury, I was 8 years old playing Toulouse in the Aristocats.
Wow.
Which is just crazy to go from that show to this one and think about that connection. But yeah, I've been doing theater since I was about 8, and then I went to college for musical theater at Alabama at Birmingham, so I have my degree from there. And I lived there for a little bit. I did some work with the children's theater in Birmingham, and then I came back to Madison, and I was just like, the scene here is so great. They're doing shows that no one else is doing. I don't think I've heard anyone doing Lizzie even remotely close to Madison, and it's been a dream role of mine for a really long time. So when I saw that they were doing it at StageQ, I was like, oh, I have to audition. Like, I absolutely have to.
And had you ever seen a performance of it before then?
I think there's like one video of a college in Ohio that did it, that has like a couple different videos of it, and that's how I fell in love with it. Kaylee Boyle, who actually is from Madison, was in it, and so I'd seen her do it before, and I was amazed by her work, and then listened to the full score and was like, how is she doing that? So yeah.
Cool. So tell me a little bit more about the music. So is it obviously it's like a rock musical, right?
Oh, yes.
Heavy duty?
Yeah. This is definitely the most challenging score I have ever sung in my entire life. Challenging for ways of lots of lyrics that come at you that are all story driven, and challenging in ways that I sing in the stratosphere the entire show, and just when you think I can't sing any higher, I'm gonna sing a little bit higher. Oh, and then it wasn't high enough, so I'm gonna sing even higher at the end. And it's been really cool to obviously work on the technique of singing, but also working on our storytelling all together with the group of the 3 people that I shared the stage with, and really letting our vocal choices influence the story, and learning that, and now like having the pit has just made everything really like collide. It's insane music. It's rock, but it's also like got some kind of folk vibes with Alice's songs. Like there's some really like tender moments, and then obviously some maybe not so tender moments when
just a couple.
Yeah, just a few. So it's a really good blend.
Love it. So Nicole, tell me a little bit more about your previous life history to now.
I'm from here. I grew up in Stoughton, graduated high school there, and then promptly got the heck out of Dodge and spent some time up in Minneapolis. Went to college at University of Minnesota, then transferred down to a private school in Iowa, and then moved back to Minneapolis and started doing theater there, and then got opportunity to move out to Phoenix, did some more theater out there. So I've been doing this also since I was very young. I'm usually on stage. I would say about 2/3 of my credits are on stage and 1/3 is production stuff. So this is my first time assistant directing for StageQ. I moved back to the Madison area about 15 years ago and performed in a show back then, and then took a whole lot of time off. And this opportunity came my way just through people I knew, encouraging me to like, hey, if you want to get back on the production team side of it, here's an opportunity. And I was like, ooh, I love that musical. It would give me a chance to work with some up-and-coming uber talented people who I had a feeling might come. I mean, the people that signed up to even audition for this show, it was a who's who, and it made the choices really difficult. So yeah, so it's been a blast just getting to see a lot of this young talent in this area, like, and knowing that they are going places fast, and it's just fun to be in one moment in time with them right now. So
And how many people are in the cast?
We have 4 in the cast, and then we also cast a full team of understudies as well. So we have 4 understudies, so 8 total that are on stage.
And it's got a really live band orchestra led by the amazing Lizzie Ann Heller, who's in our studio audience today, by the way.
Over there.
So you were saying how, the difference between rehearsals and obviously you're hearing just playing on the piano.
Yeah.
About hearing a band for the first time, and especially in that space in the jury.
Yeah.
So what's that feel like for you as an actor?
Oh, it's like literally the best feeling ever. Lizzie was great though, because she was gone for a few of our rehearsal days. She made us rehearsal tracks, which had like a little bit of like patch sounds of drums, so things we could like get ready for it. Nothing could have prepared me for how insane the band sounded that first day with the Sitz probe when you run through the show, just the music. I mean, I think all of us kind of turned to each other and were like, what the heck? This is amazing. The drums, I mean, the 2 guitars, the bass, everything like really comes together. There's songs where Lizzie's not even playing the piano. It's like just guitars, just drums, like just cello. It's so magic. It's like literally the best feeling in the world.
Watching them absolutely come alive at that rehearsal too. It was, because they were at rehearsals and they were slaying, and it was amazing. But we brought drums and bass, and like there's a cello part that's super intricate and lovely especially in certain pieces, and just watching them to be able to come alive with just these extra elements was really magic. That it's a lot of actors and production people's, I think, favorite rehearsal. It's always been my favorite rehearsal, the Sitz probe, just because getting to hear it finally musically come together for the first time, and then also for actors watching them be like, oh yeah, this is it. It's really fun. It was really fun watching that one in particular, just because these guys left it all out there on that rehearsal. I'm like, but also please save some.
Right? Yeah. So how closely does this follow the story of Lizzie Borden, and where does it take a little poetic license with it? Or a lot of poetic license
Well,
with
the
it?
thing is that spoiler alert to you true crime fans. I mean, this was something that she stood trial for. The father and stepmother were murdered pretty brutally, but she was acquitted. And so it does, leave open-ended, at least in the case. Like, well, obviously they didn't find her guilty, but no one else was ever found guilty for it either, as far as I know, in any of my research I did. And so in this production of it, I mean, Lizzie did it.
Yeah.
So again, spoiler
And
alert.
is it told through Lizzie's lens? Is it her storytelling, or is it kind of everybody's?
It's everybody's.
Yeah.
Because the characters it's Lizzie, her sister Emma, her next door neighbor and friend,
Very close friend.
Alice, and then their maid, Bridget, who Lizzie and Emma like to call Maggie because that was their previous maid's name.
Yeah.
So it's through the lens of all 4 characters. And so Bridget kind of starts out serving as a narrator, but then they also kind of take turns as the show goes on, and they really get into how these characters relate to each other and what they mean to each other. Yeah, and the things they do with each other.
Oh boy, there's a loaded question. The things they do to each other.
I said with.
Or 2.
Or both. So who wrote this masterpiece?
Well, I had to have a cheat sheet
There
because
you go.
there's a whole lot of 3 names and hyphenates. And so the story is by Stephen Cheslick DeMeyer, Tim Manor, and Alan Stevens Hewitt. And so I believe that they all contributed to the story and the music. I think Alan Hewitt wrote a majority of the music. And we only laugh because there's some really challenging parts in the score, and we would often, Alan. So, yeah. But we looked it up before this and found out they were some New York writers. And so they obviously... Anytime men write a show that is all female presenting cast, you're kind of like, okay, then. But I also feel it celebrates like different types of relationships, friendships, sisterhood, maybe even a little bit of sapphic stuff happening in there. And it's just kind of interesting that all levels of that are explored in this, I think, too, which is fun. So,
yeah. And it's interesting that it's written by men, right?
Yeah.
It's all male, or male identifying, at least.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, yeah.
Yeah, I always think it's fascinating when they have, like you say, they have an insight to that, and they don't make it through the perspective of the male lens.
Yeah.
But they write the characters for the characters, and these are obviously based on real people.
Yeah.
But it's been such a long time. Who can say what she was really like that, or what really happened?
Right.
Because it was an open-ended mystery, right? Mm-hmm. Very cool. So, in your rehearsal process, did you do a lot of like research on her, or mostly on the music and the story?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. Actually, kind of fun, creepy fact, her and I share the same birthday.
Whoa.
Lizzie Borden and I were both born on July 19th, which feels a little like destiny, I guess. But I actually have a friend she's a history major, and when she found out I was doing this show, she just kind of poured all of her history onto me, which was really cool. She lives not far from the Borden's house, so she actually she was like, I can go over there and like take pictures of you, and I was like, no, that's okay. We can just chat. But yeah, it's interesting to see how history could easily paint her as like just an evil person who just did an evil thing because she just didn't like her parents. When in like reality and in what we see in the musical, there's a very, very strained relationship with her father, and with her stepmother too, who her stepmother essentially tries to write out her entire family in their will. And so I think through our rehearsal process, it was a lot of like, you're not just angry, like you have all of these events that have led up to this moment. So let's show all of those so that the audience isn't like justifying you murdering your parents, but you can see part of the reason why she's done it, because she really is like a broken child at the end of the day, and she has to go through all of this. Her sister leaves her. She feels like she doesn't have anyone besides her next door neighbor who she confides in, who eventually maybe isn't on her side towards the end of it. So a lot of that has been part of my character work. And then for the music, a lot of listening to the recording, which is nice because it's very true to what we have used for rehearsal, and a lot of working with my voice teacher on how to like safely sing songs multiple times, maybe even like twice a day, because it's a lot. I mean, you got to put your all out there, but you want to be able to do it safely. So.
And is it one of the shows where you're on stage the entire time, or do you actually get a break?
I get like a 2.5 minute break.
Oh, no problem.
For one of Alice's songs, which is spent chugging lots of water, maybe getting an ice pack, putting it to my neck, that kind of thing. And then we've kind of incorporated some water breaks for me. So if you ever see me just jolting off stage, I'm probably chugging some water out of my water bottle. For sure. But yeah, I have never like played a role like this where I've been on stage this much, even singing this much. A lot of the songs, especially the second act is short because it just goes from one song to the next song to the next song to the next song. So having to like pace myself through that even has been a new challenge for me, but I've really enjoyed it, and Lizzie's been great at helping me with that. So
there are very few dialogue only scenes in this show.
Okay.
It's almost, I would say it's 80% sung through. It very little dialogue, and the dialogue is even just to kind of we didn't want to write a whole song on this plot point, so we're just gonna like
there's underscoring, so you know what would have been here, like
but it's kind of like we need to bring this plot in, but it's not enough to write a 4-minute song about. Honestly, like here's some information, and now we'll sing some more songs about things. And so it is a vocally demanding show for all four characters. The ranges are absolutely insane. They're way down in the basement to way in the rafters for, I mean, all four characters for the most part have to sing at least 2 octaves in the show. I think it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
So you obviously have an understudy cast.
Yes.
Right? And are there performances or shows where the understudies are going on?
They have one performance featuring them tomorrow, April 20th. We have a matinee at 2 p.m. that is featuring our understudy cast to give them an opportunity to share their work. They worked so hard to get a chance to share what they've done. And then, of course, if, knock on wood, something happens, we have them available, because again, this is a vocally demanding show. We thought it was important that if someone is really not healthy to go on, that they have, I'm not going to say an out, but an out.
Sure.
It's been cool to be in the room too. We often did like act 1 run with the principal cast, and then we did an act 1 run with the understudy cast. So getting to see each other work was so so cool. Like the choices people made, the connections made, like definitely stole some stuff from Lindsay that I was like, oh, that was really good. I'm going to take that.
It's not stealing, it's collaborating.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
very collaborative. And they're so good. They've worked so hard, and it's great.
I would honestly, this isn't me being a shameless shill to sell more tickets, but honestly worth it to see both casts, because they're almost completely different shows. Yes, the music and the dialogue is the same, but like the approach to the characters and the way they play off with each other is very different in a lot of ways. And there's some cool stuff happening that I've seen some sharing and some borrowing of ideas on both ends of it. Like, but it was cool to see, because you'll be sitting in the audience with one of them, and they'll be like, or sitting back watching, and they'll be like, oh, I like what she did there. I'm going to use that. You're like, absolutely. Like, they're not going to mind, or maybe they do. I don't know. But I highly encourage anybody to come see the performance tomorrow, because, man, they blow the roof off, too. It's just crazy that we got 8 people who are so incredible, and these 4 women that just wanted to be part of this, that they were willing to learn these incredibly challenging roles for one performance. So
right. And you're also doing an ASL performance?
Yep, our ASL performance is actually the following Sunday at 2 p.m. matinee as well, on April 27th. So if you like to watch an ASL performance like I do, or I will be completely focused on that happening, because I've seen the show enough at this point, or require that service, that's nice. And then on the other side of it, this is a rock show, so we do have a live 6-person pit. It can get a little loud sometimes. We are offering earplugs for people who would require them if it gets a little intense for them as well. So we're trying to be accessible as much as possible from that perspective. So
Great. And I also know you're doing a sliding scale.
Oh, yeah.
Ticket price wise?
I think our standard ticket price is $30, but there is a sliding scale. There's a less expensive option, but we also ask if people are kind and able that they can pay a little bit more, which helps offset the ticket prices for other people. And then we also have volunteer opportunities, helping with box office or ushering, which would get you some complimentary tickets as well. And the tickets and the volunteer opportunities are on the StageQ website at www. I always forget the third one, at stageq.org. And then if you click tickets and go down to Lizzie, it has links for both of those there. So
excellent. So I'm going to jump a little bit, and I also know that there has been an announcement that your follow-up production is going to be Assassins.
Yes.
Which is incredibly exciting.
Yeah, super exciting. When will I play a normal character ever?
You've been typecast now forever.
For real. Yes. I will be playing Sarah Jane Moore with Capital City Theater, and Caroline, who is our understudy for Alice, will be playing Squeaky Fromm in that as well. So it'll be really, really cool. It'll be in the Playhouse, so we're excited.
I mean, see what they've done with this. I was like, I will be one of the first ticket holders for that. So, yeah.
So now StageQ has this performance, and then it's the Queer Fest. Not the Queer Fest, was it? Capital Q. Sorry. So that's the end of the season then. This season. Have you announced next year's season yet?
Not yet. We are putting together the list of shows for the next season at this moment.
Excellent.
That's Julian, our wonderful producer, or Lizzie, that's off to the side here today. So, and then I also wanted to put out there, we are running 3 weekends. So we have tonight and tomorrow yet. Next weekend, Thursday through Sunday with the Sunday matinee. And then May 1st through 3rd, Saturday is a matinee on that production. That's our closing show. So if people are interested in seeing it, please do. Like I said, you're going to see some people who are, I don't know, I'm encouraging them to, Madison would miss you if you left, but also I think you're destined for bigger and more wonderful things even. So this one especially.
And is there an age limit for this? That's kind of like, is it? I'm assuming it's not a kids show.
I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we were advertising it as 18 plus. If you recommended. If you have some mature kids or some theater kids who've seen some things, I mean.
It's a lot of heavy stuff.
It's definitely,
Yeah.
It's not just the murder that is addressed in this. So there's definitely some other mature themes involved as well. And then, things like strobe lights and fog and all of those things.
All those good
are
things.
Concerns.
Yeah,
all those good things that make it look beautiful, but also, so there's some issues there. But it is a tight run time. So I think with intermission, we've been running about an hour 40. So...
With an intermission?
Yes.
Wow, that's
Feels
crazy.
Great. Let me tell you.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge time commitment. It's not like seeing a 3-hour Shakespeare show.
Right,
So
yeah.
if you're just looking for a nice little rockin' hour and a half.
And are there any days where you do 2 a day? No.
No.
Okay. I was going to say that's got to be fun.
That would
Having an
be-
understudy cast, sometimes they do.
Yeah.
They do the matinee, and you do but 2 shows, especially since it's that short.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it would make any difference because you're just putting in all that energy.
Yeah,
and
I don't
it's still
think I would
vocally
be here
challenging.
if we had to do 2
In the old days, I remember having to do a matinee and then do the evening performance the next day, and you'd be shot.
Yeah, for real. I've definitely had to do like shows where I've done a matinee and then like an hour later had to start getting ready for, and it's been all fine and good. This one just, I mean, if last night was any indication, we had a small little cast party and I just was sitting on the ground, just like, I have no thoughts in my head. Nothing has happened. Because it's just, once I'm like out of it, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to think about anything else. I don't have to think about running off stage to get my water or if my costume is fitting well or if I'm like, all of the good things. So it's been a really fun journey to have that.
And who are the other castmates with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Erica Erica
De La
Cerda. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have
She's playing Alice.
she's playing Alice. Yes. What's Emma's last name? I don't know.
Emma Bartholomew
Bartholomew
is
is
playing Emma.
My sister. And then we have Bertie Labar. Is that how you
Yep.
say it? Yes. And she's playing Bridget. So they've been so easy to lean on throughout this whole thing. I feel very, very lucky. I only knew Erica before coming into this process and Caroline. And I feel like everyone always says it, but you get really close to the people that you're in a show with. But
course.
especially with a smaller show, it feels like we've all known each other forever and we're just like getting to do this really cool rock show together. So it's been fun.
And when did you come back to Madison?
Yeah, I came back. Oh my gosh. I came back in 2023. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's really a brief amount of time.
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah.
So obviously you weren't here because I believe, didn't Music Theater Madison do a production of this
Yes, they
a
did.
while back?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I went to see that with Megan.
Yeah.
Megan Randolph.
Yeah. Yeah. I was wondering if you were in Madison when that happened.
I was not.
You were not.
Yes.
Okay. I thought I remember that. I remember
That had a
thinking that in my
pretty
head.
stacked cast back then too.
Yeah.
So yeah. That was that. I think they were the area premiere for the show, but it hasn't been done since then, and I don't know how.
That was probably pre-COVID.
It was absolutely.
I'm pretty
pre-COVID.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was pre-COVID.
I didn't want to say 10 years without knowing for sure, but I feel like it's been around that long.
That sounds
so,
about right. I
Yeah.
remember covering when I was on Channel 3, and I remember going and seeing, being impressed with that.
Yeah.
The production itself, and just like, wow. So I'm really happy that it's coming back again.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it could be at the Drury,
Yep.
at the Bartel. Cool. Anything else that we haven't covered that you want to put out there before we say goodbye and happy bunny time?
Well, I wanted to throw out there. We mentioned Caroline Hansen as our understudy Alice. We also have our understudy Lizzie is Lindsay Drozdick, who is pretty new to the area herself. I think she's been here less than a year, and she is really wonderful. Has this very cool voice, very different than yours, Oh, it's just so smoky and lovely. And then our understudy, Emma, is Lauren Iverson, who's been in a lot of StageQ productions up to this point. And then our understudy Bridget is Wizzy Metz, who has done quite a bit down in Stoughton with Stoughton Performing Arts. So we were able to pull people in from, I mean, Emma and Erica have done a bunch of stuff out at Verona and in Middleton. I mean, these guys are coming from all over Madison to come do this show. And so it's just such an honor to have gotten to work with them for the last couple months. Because again, this is an insanely talented cast, and please don't miss it, because they are definitely going places.
Cool. So I'm going to ask you one more thing, because you said you're like on stage, and now you've kind of taken an assistant directing job. Is there a role that you are like coveting that you haven't done yet?
Oh, I have lots of little silly things. Every now and then, I have like kind of in the back of my head a list of shows that I'll go out and do. Like, I never got an opportunity to do Rent back in the day, so I was in Rent with Sun Prairie a couple of years back, and that's actually how I got back into doing theater, was that show. I was like, I never got to do this one. But I have little dumb things that I want to do. Like, I'd like to play Jack's mother in Into the Woods at some point. I don't know why. That's my weird bucket list in that show. And so it's just like I'm kind of a character actor, so it's more character driven kind of roles. And then all of the moms, because I'm finally getting to be that age, like I'm dying for someone, hint, hint, to do a New Brain again, because I would love to tackle Mimi in that show. So, yeah. Those are probably the two that I think off the top of my head that are big old bucket listers for me. But someday they'll release rights for things like Come From Away and Hadestown, and who doesn't want to be in those shows? So.
I would love to see a company of Come From Away. That's such a good show.
And just the age range in that like leaves it open for a wide variety of people to participate. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for too, because yeah, I'm more of a Park and Barker as well. So I just, can I just
I've
stand?
never heard that. I love that term.
Oh, you have?
We love Park and Barker.
That's hysterical.
It's great.
Yeah, you get to a point where you're like, oh, my knees aren't what they used to be.
Gotta get some new ones. That was mine. My bucket list is getting new
Can I
knees.
just stand on this platform, sing the money song, and leave with my little princess track?
Yes.
Like, that's kind of the dream at this point. So.
Yeah, there you go.
So funny.
There you go. Tess, same question.
Oh gosh.
Oh, which dream roles haven't you played?
I was going to say, you're knocking them off one by one.
I really have been so blessed. I mean, playing Mary and Merrily was like a huge one for me. I did that a couple summers ago. This one, I feel like every time I've done a show, I'm like, wow, this has kind of been a dream role that haven't discovered yet, which is cool. So maybe I'll keep on that track. I would really love to play Bobby and Company in the gender swapped version of it, but those rights aren't out yet. So hint, hint, anyone, if there's anywhere, anywhere that wants to do it. Also a silly one that I don't think I would ever get cast as is Karen in Mean Girls, the musical.
Why would you think that?
I just think she's so silly and so not like the characters that I play. So I'd want to be her.
There you go.
10 times over. I have to be her at some point. And then a role that I never got to play, actually, when I was in summer stage with CTM, we were supposed to do a production of Grease. And I was like 14. And I was like, I'm playing Rizzo. And then something happened and we couldn't do Grease, so we did Footloose instead, and I ended up playing Ren, the male lead, and I was like, oh, okay. So it would be nice to play Rizzo in Grease also.
There you go. Complete the circle.
Yeah, for sure.
Complete the Grease circle.
When you do Grease and play Rizzo, can I be Teen Angel? Because that would be fantastic.
Oh, and no, I did just think of another one. I want to be Catherine in Newsies.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I want to tap dance a lot. So...
I mean, we've seen your tap dancing skills at quite a few rehearsals now. So.
It's true.
There's no tap number in Lizzie?
Unfortunately, no. If you were looking forward to a rising tap number with a big kick line.
Big kick line.
There is not. But I will say there is quite a big room for audience interaction during this show, i.e. the last number is, it's just a rock concert. So when y'all come to see the show, hoot, holler, clap, scream, get up and dance with people, rock out, headbang, all of that stuff. Because we as actors love it, but we're also like just having a great time, and we want y'all to have a great time.
So did you and Jay, is there choreography?
Oh,
Yes.
So did you choreograph it?
No,
and Jay?
Carolyn Stoughton was our
Oh, okay.
choreographer. She has done some choreography at various places over the years. She came to us. She works closely with Lynn Pilch, who's also
yeah.
done quite a bit of stuff in the area. So that's who recommend Carolyn to us. And also Jay knew her. When he directed Wedding Singer over at Verona, Carolyn did some of the choreography there as well. So she came in, and there's quite a few numbers that have choreography to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like all out like dancing, but definitely coordinated movement is more
It's
like
kinda
it.
like
But
Hedwig.
like,
It's kind of like with Hedwig. There's not really dancing,
it's-
dancing,
yeah.
like
Right,
rock,
but
and
it's like-
but it's like.
but it's very cool. Some of it's it looks beautiful. There's a scene that the first time I saw it at rehearsal, I burst into tears. I found it so beautiful. So,
I also burst into tears at that rehearsal.
so yeah, I mean, some of it is just very moving and powerful, like little movements and things that go on during the show that she really did an excellent job with the choreography on that.
And I've seen some of the production stills, and Zach Stowe's lighting is, of course,
Oh
is
my
awesome.
gosh, we were
Awesome.
watching The Invited Dress, and he was sitting right in front of us, and I felt like every cue I was like, oh my god, that looks so good, and he'd turn around and be like, thanks.
I know.
Yes, Zach, you're so modest and talented.
Seriously.
We've got some cool sound effects happening by Marcial, and then we had a great costumer, a great makeup artist. Like all of these things have really like Simone. Oh, our intimacy coordination.
Oh, yes.
that was super important for this show. Simone Lapierre, thank you, Lizzie, for the reminder. Was very necessary in this show. There was definitely some areas where we're like, we need an expert here. So she came in and helped us with some of the scene work in those areas, and I highly recommend her coming in. She was very sensitive. Everything she did, I loved. I loved learning about that problem. I don't think mentioned yet. Our director is Jay
Yes.
Guile,
Yes.
which I'm sure a lot of people know. He directed Hedwig for StageQ a couple seasons ago. He's directed at Verona. He's directed a bunch of different places. He's also an actor and has appeared on stage. And so part of the most fun thing for me about this process was the collaboration. We had people coming from all sorts of places with different relationships and levels of knowing each other, and it was just fun to come together and with everybody's mixed backgrounds. But the other cool thing about the whole production team, as far as I know, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I'm pretty sure, I also don't want to out anything, but it was really important to Jay to have female presenting, queer, non-binary, like trying to have as much representation through our production team as possible as well. So it's just been a really cool collaborative group to work with.
And that's kind of like that's the mission of StageQ.
Absolutely.
I was
Yeah,
president
for sure.
for many years, and I think that's been the ongoing mission for StageQ, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Because it really is, the only theater company that really is dedicated to doing queer art and queer theater, except for Proud Theater, which is the kids' theater, which is also another wonderful, wonderful company in town. So that's great. So people, go and bring your hatchets and go and see Lizzie the musical at the Bartell Theater. Tickets are available at the Bartell box office, and also, I'm assuming,
On the website.
on the website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And then we're on socials as well. We're on Facebook, Instagram. I think that's it. So you can find the information and ticket links there as well.
Cool. Great. Wonderful. Well, thank you for spending your post-opening afternoon
Yeah.
before your second nighter with
Yeah.
us. Have a wonderful run, and I cannot wait to see it. Thank you, studio audience, for being here. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jim. And for those of you that celebrate, happy Easter. And for those of you that don't, happy poo-poo. See you next time.
Thank you.